I have the honor this morning of giving you some background on our honoree. When I started thinking about Kim and everything that she did, I realized I didn't want to forget anything, so I wrote it down. And so I'm just going to read it to you, just so I don't miss anything. Kim was a 25-year veteran of the Evansville Police Department. At the time of her death, she was a detective sergeant in the Violent Crimes Unit. I met Kim when I came to the department 24 years ago. We became friends and co-workers, not just on the police department, but also with our involvement in the local fraternal order of police. During Kim's 25-year career, she worked in many areas of the police department. As does everyone, she started her career in motor patrol, where she patrolled the streets of Evansville. Kim became the first woman to belong to the SWAT team, and she was on the entry team. I don't know if you know what that means, but the SWAT team, when they get involved, it's normally a bad situation, a very dangerous situation. It's nice to be a sniper on those teams, but the entry team is the team that goes in first. Kim was on that team. I don't know why she'd want to go in first. I wouldn't. At the time Kim joined the EPD, it was mainly a man's world, as was the SWAT team. Kim broke that barrier and fit in easily. She was as fearless as they come. It mattered none to her if she faced a large male or a small female. She handled every situation as a professional. Kim also served the EPD as a narcotics detective, and after making sergeant, worked in the uniform division. She also served as a sergeant over the crime scene unit, and eventually as a violent crime sergeant. Kim was well respected throughout the department. Kim was a graduate of the FBI Academy located in Quantico, Virginia, where she met officers from across the United States and made lasting friendships. Kim served the FOP, not only on the local level, but also on the state level. She was a board member for many years of Evansville Lodge 73 and was the vice president of the lodge until the cancer forced her to step down the year before her death. She served on the state FOP board as an FOP Foundation board member who was responsible for all FOP charities around the state. She won many awards for her service to the FOP, including the Evansville President's Award, the state FOP's Pat Stark Award, and the top award in the state, the state FOP's Addie Maddox Award. I can remember the day that Kim won that award. We were at a banquet, and it's all formal, and she wins the award, and she's not one that wants to give up and give speeches. But she got up, and she delivered this speech. It was just amazing. She came back to our table, and she walked around the table, and she hugged everybody. And when she came up to me, I had put her in for the award, and she knew that because the letter was signed by me. And I was expecting my hug from Kim. Instead, she slapped me across the face, and it was all because, not that she didn't appreciate the award, she just didn't want to give that speech. So no, I didn't make her do any more speeches after that. Kim served the FOP not only on the local level, but also on the state board. She was a board member for many years. Have I already done that? I'm sorry. It seemed that when it was time to step up and volunteer, she was there. Kim was looking forward to retirement when the cancer returned. She had already set a retirement date, 3 years away, and was 2 years away from that date when she died. Kim knew that if she died before her retirement date, all the money that she had placed into her pension fund through the state would be lost. Through Kim, her friends, some of which are here, and Suzanne Crouch, a bill was drafted to protect all single policemen and firemen who did not have kids. The bill was presented and passed into law in 2010. Without Kim, this bill would not have been enacted. Now, all police officers who pay, and firefighters, who pay into their pension fund, but don't have a wife and don't have a child, when they die, that the money that they put in goes back to the state, and that was all due to Kim and, of course, Suzanne Crouch. If you didn't know Kim, you would, I need to tell you that she had this magnetic, infectious smile. It was one of those sneaky smiles. You never knew what she was thinking. She did not hide her feelings and said what she thought. And that is why most people love Kim and why younger officers would seek her out for advice. Over the years, we became like brother and sister and fought like brothers and sisters. I used to lose a lot of those battles until I became president of local FOP, and Kim was my vice president. When she read the bylaws, she figured out that the president assigned the vice president's duties. After she figured that out, I started winning a lot more arguments. I remember that a short time after we learned that the cancer had returned, I was tearing off the garage roof at my house. While I was working on the garage, her truck pulled in the driveway and her and Spoon get out. And I expect her to stay on the ground and sit down and relax and watch. Not Kim. She climbed that ladder. She was up on the roof and she worked. That was just the way Kim was. I mean, she had cancer. It had reoccurred. She knew it was bad, but it didn't stop her from doing what she wanted to do. She was an avid Miami Dolphins fan, and any talk of any ill will towards the Dolphins was met immediately with that stern glare that she could give. I left the Dolphins out of our talks unless we were talking about real dolphins in the Gulf of Mexico. She loved the ocean, and while she was still able, we planned a trip to Gulf Shores, Alabama. Kim was still walking during the planning stage, but had learned that the cancer was spreading. Even though it wasn't long before she went from walking to a walker and then to a wheelchair, she still wanted to make that trip. We were able, through donations, to obtain a motorized scooter so that she could get around her house or take a trip in her neighborhood if she chose to. The scooter not only gave her mobility, but she was also able to determine when and where she wanted to go. More importantly, it gave her freedom. It also caused her to crash. She received stitches in her elbows for that accident. This accident was apparently blamed on both Kim and I because we, being who we are, didn't need directions to put this scooter together, nor did we need directions on how to drive it. We never heard the end of that. By the way, when we did look at the directions, it had one of those big signs with a cross through it that said, "Don't drive off curbs this way." We were able to make the trip to Gulf Shores, and prior to Kim going into a wheelchair, we had already rented a house. This was while she was still walking. By the time we got to Gulf Shores, she had to be carried upstairs. She spent that week on her scooter in the house, but she would sit out on the deck and she'd watch the waves and she'd look for her dolphins. A friend of hers who's here today, Linda Martin, was along on that trip. She walked to the beach, got a bucket of sand and ocean water so that Kim could once again fill the beach. That little act of kindness just to this day amazes me. Who would have thought that such a small act of friendship could mean so much to one person? After returning to Evansville, the bad news of the cancer spreading seemed to come on a daily basis. Kim would get out of the house as much as she could and had visitors on a constant basis. Kim never asked, "Why me?" or complained about her fate. She seemed to know that it was only a matter of time and that the time was getting short. It wasn't long before the cancer was found in her spinal fluid, and a few weeks later, she died at home surrounded by her family and friends. Kim will live forever in the hearts of everyone who knew her, loved her, and worked with her. Her legacy as the first woman to serve on the SWAT team, her services to the citizens of Evansville, her friendship and her leadership to other officers, her service to the Fraternal Order of Police, and her attitude even when facing death will never be forgotten. With the Strides Run being held in her honor, helping to raise the money to fight against this dreadful disease, Kim is still fighting the good fight. Thank you.